you. All right, joining me now, Lee Zeldin, former New York candidate for governor, former New York congressman, as well as Mike Davis, Article 3 Project president, former law clerk to Justice Gorsuch. Lee, I know you just announced on Twitter that you just secured a very, very large donation for Trump after that verdict was handed down. Can you tell us anything more?
Yeah, $800,000 donation to President Trump, his joint fundraising committee. That amount was something that you could tell if the max donation was larger, I think the donation would have been larger. I saw someone else post on social media about how they were donating $300,000 immediately, and I'm sure that there are plenty of people donating $5 and $25. DonaldJTrump.com, President Trump's website. People can go and donate right now. I know that when Red went down, but that's back up. So people are stepping up all across this country, understanding that the real verdict will be in November 5th.
Mike, you and I have been now talking about this lawfare for years. We knew that this was a possibility. I held out hope that there was one brave juror who could see through this, but I was wrong. And your reaction tonight, given the glee over at some of the other nets?
Today's victory from this partisan, corrupt, and rigged trial just guaranteed President Trump's election on November 5th of this year. And to President Biden and his Biden Democrat goons who are cheering this is a Pyrrhic victory for you, because you have just guaranteed that President Trump is going to win in a landslide.
Lee Zeldin, do you agree with that this is the straw that broke the moderates' back when it comes to supporting Trump? A lot of people, you hear them, I hear them, well, I just don't like him. He's too brash. You don't like his tone. He talks too much about the 2020 election. Whatever it is, they're hesitant to support him. But was this ultimately a major mistake by the left and a huge overreach into really judicial tyranny in an election year?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are people who are posting on social media about how they have never voted for President Trump in primaries, general elections, ever, but now they will walk on glass for him. The intensity of President Trump supporters are the people who have always supported him. Now they will support him more than ever. But people who were independent-minded folks who didn't even like President Trump or vote for him in the past said that this was a political prosecution when this indictment first came out a year ago. But then when you see the bias of the judge with the jury instructions and the fact that we are sitting here tonight and we still don't know what the underlying charge is that was allowing President Trump to get convicted, I mean, gosh, this doesn't pass any smell test. You can't spin this right side up. I think that the damage is going to be great. I think it'll have down ballot consequences as well. But my message for anyone out there who might be optimistic as it relates to November is that you need to wake up tomorrow and work harder. You can't take a seat back and say, oh, no, it's all good to go. Everything's going to get fixed. No, work harder.
Mike, do you agree with what Saul said earlier, that he doubts that Merchan will really be tough in this sentencing because it would politically backfire to try to hem him in from campaigning, like he's some kind of flight risk? How ridiculous would that be? But do you agree with Saul? I don't have any optimism about what Merchan will do.
This Democrat Manhattan judge, Juan Merchan, is corrupt. He's partisan. He illegally donated to Biden's campaign. We just learned that he was reprimanded for that by the New York judicial system. That didn't deter him at all. His daughter, Lauren Merchan, is raising millions of dollars off of this unprecedented criminal trial over which Judge Juan Merchan's presiding. That requires his recusal under New York statute. That's not just me saying that.
So you're saying, so do you think he's going to, I know, but do you think, we know all that, but do you think he's going to be especially tough in the sentencing, or will he just a probation without many restrictions?
I would not be surprised if Judge Juan Merchan puts President Trump in prison, or at a very minimum home confinement with very strict probation that hobble Trump's ability to run for the presidency.
I think I agree with you. Lee, Mike, thank you both. Joining me now.